Hey, yo, we're good, sports fans. Yeah, y'all probably thought y'all never see this again. Uh, there was a time we probably thought we wouldn't see it again either. But
Right.
uh, hey, we plussing up over here at DFPN. It's a good time over here, season of growth and all that good stuff. Welcome back to believe it or not, this is episode 9 of Prove Me Wrong, but it feels like a relaunch, if you will. So we'll call it what it is. I was gonna say episode 1, but we already got one of those. It's the homie Mac, aka your boy, here with my man Blak Makk, and my man's got me going. He over here typing articles and stuff. I mean, let's get into it. Let's get back to what we wanted this show to be, talking what we want to talk about real quick and all that good stuff. And speaking sports the way me and my homie here speak sports. Ain't gonna be no thesaurus ass words over here, no blasphemous or mitigated gall. None of that stuff. So we just gonna keep it real. We gonna talk like we talk, and I'm excited, man. How about yourself?
I'm ready to go, bro. Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know what it is. Episode 9 of the Prove Me Wrong podcast, starting right now. What? Yo, so without further ado, y'all know what it is, man. Most sports talk shows, podcasts, and everything talking about it. The return of the NFL is here. Week 1. We had legit football for 5 days, if you want to count Saturday with college football. Would be kicked off with Thursday night football. Ravens and Chiefs rolled into Friday, Packers, Eagles, and then we had a full plate of NFL action throughout the Sunday.
Amen.
I tapped into the bro. I'm a big fan of this NFL Red Zone, where it just be 7 hours and they just showing games, no commercials, jumping from game to game and stuff, bro. I know my wife hate when Sundays come around this time of year, but
hey, man, we've had to endure Bridgerton and all types of stuff.
Big facts. Big facts.
Give us this. Let us have
our reality show, goddamn. You know what I'm saying? All this
Love is Blind and shit.
Love is Blind. Yeah, give us this. Give me this. But I know we got Monday Night Football tonight. The Jets and the Niners will be going at it. But real quick, man, what are your thoughts? Your initial thoughts, and then we'll get into our top 5 surprises that caught us off guard week 1, and then our top 5 biggest disappointments. But overall, man, how'd you like week 1?
I thoroughly enjoyed week 1, and right off the bat, I'm gonna say I like this new kickoff. I know a lot of people don't like it. I like the new kickoff. There's a lot of potential there. Granted, I've been following the UFL. The UFL, that's where it came from. Yeah. I liked it then. I like that they're incorporating it in the NFL. It's a lot safer too. So there's a lot more explosivity that'll come out of that. Once the teams start to figure out, you can see like towards the end of the day, teams are trying to figure out how to break one.
Yeah,
they'll figure it out eventually. But yeah, it was that I'm impressed by week 1 so far.
Yeah, DJ Dallas, I believe his name, from the Cardinals, broke one back, and there were a couple other kind of bigger returns. And then there were teams trying to avoid the returns, but then they would kick it short, and then it doesn't make it into the landing zone, which kind of equals the illegal procedure kick out of bounds. So then the ball comes to the 40. So you either boot it out the end zone and get it to the 30, or you see what they return man got, and you give them that chance. So I'm excited. It was dope. Yeah, I haven't heard too many complaints about it. I thought people was going to whine about it, but it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
But speaking of that, Any more general things you want to, we'll just get right into it, man. So we were talking about it, and you want to start with the disappointments or the pleasantly surprised moments for you? Top 5, if you have them. Oh, you're muted.
My bad. Let's go with the pleasantly surprised.
All right. I think you kind of took my thunder. I was going to mention the kickoffs, the special teams and stuff. I think it was more, more returns on this one, man. You gave the returners a little bit of room. I think you give them the opportunity to break one with members not being able to move until members catch the ball. Like I said, the Cardinals broke one. There are a few other kind of explosive returns. I know there's no special rules to the punt, but we had a punt return for a touchdown as well. So it's a lot of special team stuff. Shout out to the kickers. I wish I had my man from Pittsburgh on my squad as he single-handedly beat Atlanta with his foot. But I would say the special teams caught me off guard, man. Pleasantly surprised with this new rule.
Yeah. I do like the rule change. So yeah.
What you got?
From mine, I'm gonna go with the amount of teams that ran the ball yesterday. That was something I wasn't expecting, especially with the quarterback class being what it was, but I expected them to be more of a showcase of quarterbacks and passing the ball. And what I got yesterday was something that last year I kind of said was, this is to be a championship team in the NFL, you have to do two things: run the ball and stop the run. And the amount of teams that focused on running the ball yesterday was kind of surprising to me in a good way, because it lets me know that teams are trying to focus on clock management and having a quarterback with not so much pressure on them, but can make those plays. And you've seen that result in very big quarterback play, particularly with Indiana.
Yeah.
Because Richardson is a new quarterback, and they kind of eased him into the game with Taylor. I was very impressed by that. Also with Houston, with CJ Stroud being a second-year quarterback, I thought there was going to be a little bit of sophomore jinx there. Operated smoothly. Mixon is a great get for them. So the amount of teams that focused on it overall was very surprising in a good way.
Agreed. Leads me to my my fourth or number 4 for my pleasantly surprises. The amount of players that got not so much direct get back, but low key. Essentially, I don't know if they noticed their previous teams were doing not well, but we'll go, for instance, say Saquon. Saquon obviously played before the Giants played, but if you were watching Hard Knocks, you would see that the front office was kind of doing Saquon dirty, not wanting to pay him, and the rest of these running backs across the league. They were willing to let him walk away. Them thinking that they were too smart for themselves, thinking they'll find another running back, thinking that, they're a dime a dozen and such. Little did they know, come Sunday, after watching Saquon run all over the Green Bay Packers for 3 touchdowns, I think about 150 plus yards, not counting the receiving. So I'm like, bro, y'all, that's 21 points right there that my man brought, and y'all managed only 6 points. Now, no shade to the Vikings defense. Maybe they're that legit, but I honestly think it's because the Giants defense is that bad. Another big get back is I'm looking down there at Tampa Bay, and Baker Mayfield, who was out there just cutting all the way the fuck up with 4 touchdowns, over 300 yards. I was just like, damn, I wish you would have played like this in Carolina, but that's a whole nother topic. But then you look up to Cleveland and see the person that they pushed him out for up there struggling heavily. I know this is going to sound hilarious, but my man ain't been the same since they cracked down on his massage routine. So he up there, he hurting. But The level of get back that I've been seeing, and there's a couple more, but I think just watching across the league, a lot of the people that move from one spot to another, Joe Mixon being let go by the Bengals, and then the Bengals over there suffering, can't run the ball all of a sudden. New England running it all over them. It's but it's a beautiful thing, man. And I think people are gonna start putting respect on these running backs' names out here, man.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Which is gonna lead me to I'm gonna hate this one, but the Dallas Cowboys. I know it's week one. I know it's week one. I know you play Cleveland, but they looked pretty damn good yesterday. I gotta admit it. As much as it pains me to say, they looked really good, particularly on defense. I know they're missing a guy. Their defense really looked good yesterday. They flew around. They were all over the ball. Their offense high powered. Good to see Zeke back in Dallas, and he contributed a lot to that offense. You could tell it just felt good for them yesterday. I was very impressed by their performance yesterday. I hate that I admitted that, but they did look good.
No, there were even some people giving Cleveland the win just based on how dominant their defense was the year prior. Joe Flacco was able to get the most out of them. Amari Cooper had a little bit of resurgence last year. Nick Chubb, I don't think he played. I think they're still kind of keeping it safe with him. I mean, they're a different squad when Nick Chubb is in there and they're able to run the ball. But they did have I forget his name. Was it Ford? Their backup guy behind Chubb, who was decent last year. So I think what they were depending on is like their defense to pick up and like they never left from last year. Dallas, I don't know what it is, man. Maybe it was that extra 240 for 4 years for Dak, who he signed it like an hour before the game or something like that. So shout out to players getting their money this offseason, but Dallas is scary. We have yet to see, we don't want to what's the thing?
Overhype them.
Yeah. For week one, we'll see. We need a body of work, but that defense still looks legit. Micah Parsons is the truth, and Jerry Jones, you better get that checkbook ready for Micah.
Yeah. Don't mess this bag up for him.
For my other pleasantly surprised, I will say that I thought the Buffalo Bills were going to take that L leading in there. You took a lot of weapons from Josh Allen, and it didn't look good for him at first. Not having that dominant, true number one receiver on his team since they let Stephon Diggs go and get 2 touchdowns in his debut with Houston, which was I don't know if I think they traded him, right?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah. But he was able to settle down and work with what he had. I don't know, call me crazy. I feel that the fact that Stephon Diggs is not there with his prima donna, for lack of a better term, alpha attitude, give me the ball, I'm always open, get mad at Josh in the playoffs and later on in that season when he wasn't getting his numbers. Right. I think Josh felt the need to try to force the ball to him a lot, which probably led to a few of his turnovers, a lot of errant throws, just trying to throw it out there to see if Stephon can get it, just to make Stephon happy. And now that he doesn't have that prima donna, that alpha type receiver in his ear, like give me the ball, he can just settle down and play his game, right? I think he had one turnover. I think he lost a fumble. I don't think he threw a pick. Let me go check and all that stuff. But I thought he was pretty under control. They got behind 17-0. And or no, that was the Bears that got behind 17-0 and came back. But they were trailing for the most part. The Cardinals came out looking good. Kyler Murray came out looking good. John Connor came out looking good. They were really running the ball, and it wasn't looking too good for the Bills. But I think Josh Allen settled down, and I think looking at the AFC East, you got the Dolphins that won, Patriots that won, Jets play tonight. So that could be a sneaky division, but Josh Allen, he surprised me, man. Normally he crumbles when he gets low, starts making a lot of errant throws, bad decisions. But he settled down, did what he had to do, and the team came out with a W, man.
Yep. I gotta agree with that. And it'll be interesting because he is that AFC division he's in, that's murderer's row, bro. Like, you got to be on point. There's not a lot of room for error. You know, Patrick Mahomes is going to do his thing. You know, you're in there with Lamar Jackson as well. So, like, you got to be on point in this division. So it'll be interesting to see how this year goes for them. And he did lose another weapon too. Stephon Diggs was a good target, but Gabriel Davis was a better target in my eyes because of Stephon Diggs getting all the pressure that he got. He was able to be like that valve release, and now he's gone. And you know, not having him was a loss as well. So I think he's in the position that Patrick Mahomes was in last year, right? He's trying to find his receiver. It'll take him a few games, but once he gets it, I feel fairly confident in Josh Allen. I seen a few people yesterday kind of writing him off already, like Josh Allen is gonna Josh Allen, but you got to give him a minute. It's a new squad. They got to build a little chemistry. Once they build that chemistry, I think they'll be okay.
Yeah.
So,
was that your number 3 or 4
no,
or what?
My number 3 who I was impressed by, and I'm gonna say this even in a loss. The Baltimore Ravens. Even in a loss, I can see this being the championship, bro. Like, I can see them running this back.
Oh shit.
I can definitely see them running this back. 2 things stood out to me, and I know we talked about the run, but him getting Derrick Henry, that shit is scary, bro. That is scary. I called it. That first touchdown they scored, I called it. I said, they're going to give it to him right up the middle, and he's going to score, and there's nothing they can do about it. Once they get to a point where that offensive line is confident, because yesterday they were up against the Chiefs defense that kind of stacked up on them, right? You got Chris Jones, and he's pretty much just picking and choosing where he wants to go. And the Ravens were down 2 offensive linemen. Once they get healthy, and once they get their schemes right, Baltimore is going to be a scary team to face because you have Derrick Henry who can run, you have Lamar Jackson who can pass, and he can do an option. You're not going to know what angle they're attacking you from, and it's gonna take a toll on teams, bro. Like, they are going to wreak havoc. And I agree with that. You got to run them more. They kind of got away from it yesterday, and that's because they were down offensive linemen. And once Kansas City figured out, like, all right, all Chris Jones has to do is walk to the line late. And that's what he was doing the majority of the game. He walked to the line, he picked his matchup at the very end, and the offensive line has to compensate for that. But I think they did that prematurely. They shouldn't have done that, because they're going to have to see each other again, and Baltimore's going to remember that. So they're going to compensate. Once they compensate for that, I don't see a team in the AFC beating them. I really believe that. They are going to be a scary, scary squad. If they could just stay healthy, they're definitely going to be a problem.
I agree 100%. And the scary part is, like, I don't think the Chiefs were at full force because they still need Hollywood Brown. So I'm not trying to throw them in my pleasantly surprised thing, but when you got 1-5 back there, man, it's like, bro, anything is possible, man. Like, you always got to, you always got a puncher's chance in that one. Yeah. For my number 2, I want to go and talk about the New England Patriots. Most people wrote them off. I think Jared Mayo is I don't know if people had really high hopes. I mean, you're replacing a legend in Bill Belichick, and replacing him only because that franchise at this moment is not in a good place. They've been playoffs the last few years, which caused, Robert Kraft to look at, Bill Belichick and be like, you want to get into that the free agent market and see if you can coach somewhere else and chase that that win record that you've been after. But Jared Mayo stepped up and kind of went in there with some no nonsense football, man. Play defense and run the fucking ball.
Yep.
Right. And you're going up against who some people want to claim is the number 2 quarterback in the league after Pat Mahomes and Joe Burrow. He's got his main target, Jamar Chase, who's a little unhappy because he didn't get his contract, but he was out there playing. And all of the new weapons that he has behind this revamped offensive line. And my man threw the ball, I think, more than 5 yards, tried to attempt a pass further than 5 yards, only a handful of times. Shout out to their cornerback Gonzalez, man, who's looking to be the next best corner in the league, following Jamar across the field wherever he went and challenging him to throw. But that defense and that run game, man, Ramondre Stevenson, who I had on my bench because I didn't think he would be doing what he did.
Same.
Bro, it's I ain't even trying to get into fantasy. I'll be sad again, but it'd be all 5 of my top depressing moments, disappointing moments is my my sit or start capabilities. But it goes back to what you said, teams running the football. They had Jacoby Brissett back there, who's no slouch, a very decent number 2, who can fill in the gaps in between starting quarterbacks if you're trying to develop one or you're on the back end of getting rid of one. So I think he did a fairly good job managing that game. The Bengals had their chances. I feel like they could have won that game, but the small 1 or 2 extra hustle plays causing that fumble when I think the tight end Hudson was about to waltz into that end zone. I don't know how he was carrying the ball. He just had this thing in his hand and pop, it just happened to bounce right to, it's just those plays where the ball just happens to bounce right back to you and they made the most of it. So in his press conference, he was like, he wants to celebrate this, his first coaching win ever, in this historic franchise, which is the Patriots. But you got another game the next week, so celebrate today, get back to it. So shout out to Jared Mayo and getting that first win.
Absolutely, man, absolutely. And you're right. I kind of wrote them off too, especially going up against the Bengals.
Yeah,
I thought the Bengals were going to overpower them. Come to find out, Patriots have a good defense. That's the Patriots defense.
Yeah,
it's gonna be one of the top defenses in the NFL.
Defense travels too. So
hell yeah. So I think for what they were able to do, they stifled Cincinnati. It wasn't like Cincinnati is such a high-powered offense that they can make things happen. Yeah. But it wasn't like they just had their way with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were wreaking havoc, pressuring Joe Burrow, making him make decisions, getting them to move the ball early on routes. Like that type of stuff matters.
Yeah.
And if you could consistently do that, you have a squad. Hey, man, you have a squad that is going to be dangerous in the long run. So I definitely agree with you on that. Just having them do what they did to Cincinnati was impressive on its own.
Yeah.
That's my number 2 as well.
Okay. So then I'm gonna go ahead and just go with number 1. Bro, I'm looking at the Eagles, man. With Saquon?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Hey, trouble in the NFC East. Now, I'm not gonna say they're gonna run it, but that Philadelphia Dallas game is gonna be something.
It's gonna be something.
And whoever come out of that, I think they just got the keys to the division. I think they got Saquon for the next 3 years or something. So
yep.
Unless something changes, because I know they got AJ Brown, who's as good as they get out there at wide receiver one. Jalen Hurts, fully healthy. I believe he was playing with some injury last year and was trying to play through it, which is why I feel like his effectiveness kind of went down from the Super Bowl year that they went. So I think him getting healthy. I know there was some speculation around Sirianni saying that it wasn't him. That was the coach. That was the reason they got to the Super Bowl as coordinators. And after they got picked up to be head coaches elsewhere, that's why he had that struggle year last year. But again, I just think Jalen Hurts' health. I don't know if Jason Kelce was kind of all the way in it. You know, he was like thinking about retiring their offensive line, things along those lines. But I think that offseason helped getting Saquon back there to help with that rushing game. So it's not all on Jalen Hurts to try to run out and scramble and do all of that stuff. So I'm looking at the Eagles. It was a dope game with the Packers. You know, it was going back and forth for a while, but the Packers just couldn't stop my man Saquon. And I thought Saquon was hurt like over at New York, like he continually kept having injuries and things like that. But I don't know. I don't know if, like I said, it's that get back gene. Like he's just you didn't want to pay me, and you just let me walk over here to the rivals in the division. Like, you know,
crazy move.
Now you shall pay. You know,
crazy move.
Now, bro, you have to see this man twice, and you know how good he is. He was on your.
Oh, he's about to torch New York.
He's about to torch them, and he playing stardom. That man about to do. Bro.
He about to do
and don't think that the Eagles ain't gonna try and feed this boy the ball to make it sting more. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So
definitely.
Yeah, number one, I think that's the most the major, probably one of the most major offseason acquisitions was the Eagles picking up Saquon Barkley, because it paid off dividends instantly. A close second would be the Chargers picking up J.K. Dobbins from Baltimore, who he had a few injuries over at Baltimore, a nasty knee injury. They were just like, we're moving on to Derrick Henry. You got to get out of here. And next thing you know, he over there in Los Angeles running for $150 against the fucking the Raiders and shit. So that might be a thing too, because Harbaugh's gonna have them boys over there in the powdered blue playing like some upfront big body guys in that Russian defense, man. He's gonna take a lot of pressure off Justin Herbert, who was under a lot of pressure because the former coach, whatever his fucking name, Brandon Staley, was just letting this man get clocked in that thing.
And that's gonna be my number one.
What's that?
That's my number one.
Harbaugh?
Not Harbaugh, but the focus on the teams and building up their lines.
Yeah.
That coaches realizing how important the line is to the protection and the run game has been the most impressive things, because if you look at the scope of what everybody's done, all the teams that ran yesterday that won, they ran the ball really well.
Yeah.
They ran the ball really well. It eased the quarterback's job, and all they had to do really is manage the game. But you have big-time quarterbacks that can make big-time plays, right? And that's how you started finding out, like guys like Richardson and him being in the game with the Texans. I think the Texans are going to be a shocker in this year. But the fact that you have the coach that can hang with them speaks volumes, because teams are putting focus on their line and the protection of their quarterback and the run. They're focusing all of that energy there. So that is the most impressive thing to me.
Same. All right, so let's get into our top 5 disappointments, man. You want to start us off?
Yep, let's start right at the top. Let's start right at the top. I'm going to start with the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, I know you lost this game. You had chances to win this game, but you have a team that is capable. The only weapon that you really lost was Joe Mixon, but you have a capable backfield. You have a capable quarterback. You have a capable defense. Nothing too drastic changed about Cincinnati's identity. They're still the team that they are last year. They just don't have Joe Mixon. That's it. That's pretty much it. So the fact that you went in here, you went to the, I feel like they kind of slept on the Patriots because we all slept on the Patriots.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. They felt like they went they had this one in the bag. And they got slapped upside of the head. I hope they can turn this around, but that is not the way you want to start off the season if you're the Cincinnati Bengals.
You're going Bengals. I'm trying not to go straight for my number one disappointing thing. But I will say, you know what, number 5. We'll go like this. With all the hype and everything surrounding Caleb Williams coming out, talking about he's probably got the most loaded team for a number 1 draft pick to go to. You got Keenan Allen showing up. You already got DJ Moore there. You got Rome Odunze. You just drafted him. Probably the best lineup of receivers across the board. Solid defense. You got Cole Kmet as the tight end. So everything is in place for you to do great things. Why is my man out there throwing for less than 100 yards with about over 25 pass attempts? Down 17, you know what I'm saying? Like they were down. Ridiculous. If it wasn't for a pick 6, a block punt for a return, like bro, y'all would have been cooked. And everybody out there talking about he's the first number 1 overall pick to win his first start since. I'm like, hey, I put an asterisk next to that shit, bro. Like we ain't out here playing that, man. Like that is mad disrespectful to think that it was him that got that win. Now, I haven't heard a post game from him. I don't know if he's out there saying, like obviously I got to play better and stuff. I would hope he's out there saying shit like that. But that was not a debut that I thought he would have with the weapons that were around him. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
Hoping that he can work on that and get better. I'm not trying to wish ill on anybody, but I was about to text some of my friends who are Bear fans who were just like, thanks for the number 1 pick. Thanks for that. And I'm out there like, oh, YaBoy out there. He ain't looking too good. And he tall.
Whose man is this?
Yeah, he tall. Y'all welcome. Yeah, we both going to struggle at quarterback now. God damn it. We both going to look at each other like, well, maybe next draft. You know what I'm saying? But Caleb Williams, I was super disappointed in that start, man. So hopefully you get better. But yeah, that caught me off guard.
Okay, all right. I feel you there. Now I'm gonna go to my number 4.
Okay,
the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Fam, that was next up for me. But I'm gonna let you talk first, and I'll get on.
Oh man, bro, you had ample opportunity. They're just like I don't know what it is with them. Like they're loaded, but they are mediocre. You know what I mean? You have every capable weapon. You got Gabe Davis from Buffalo. That is a nice target. He had a great game.
Yep.
How do you lose this game? I don't understand how they lost it. Everything was there for them to win it, and they lose it. Like how? You know what I mean?
Bro, I can't call it. It's one of those things where, what was it, 2 seasons ago they won the division?
Yeah.
I think Doug Peterson's first year there, Trevor Lawrence made this fucking huge jump from Urban Meyer to Doug Peterson, and he was just balling out. Yep. They had Calvin Ridley, coming back, all of this other stuff. ETN was balling out, defense was stepping up, and it seemed to me that it was the AFC South was Jacksonville's to lose. Yes. Like they were poised to run that division for the next few years. Insert CJ Stroud and everything like that. I think the biggest thing is the blue chip level of scouting and drooling over Trevor Lawrence as the next generational talent as quarterback. Coming there, working with Doug Peterson, having Calvin Ridley, who ended up going over to, I think, Tennessee. But you still got Christian Kirk, like you said. You got Gabe Davis coming through. You still got ETN in the backfield. Your receiving core is no slouch. Right. They just get in their own way. They had a chance to put that game away. ETN fumbles running into the end zone, not carrying the ball. There's a missed kick, some field goals that were missed, things like that. You could have easily put Miami away.
Yes.
Keeping Miami in the game is the worst thing you can do. Exactly. And it came back to get them. So I don't know what's going on in Jacksonville. They had a subpar into their season last year. I think they started out 6-2, and they ended up missing the playoffs, losing in the last week to Houston, which gave them, Houston had to play Indianapolis for the division. But yeah, they had the division in their hand last year, and they fucked it away. And I don't know if they're just going to start it this year.
Yep. Terrible. So this is not how you want to start if you're Jacksonville, bro. It's not how you want to start. It is terrible.
Yeah, that was my number 4 as well. I was looking at that like, oh, maybe Jacksonville got it together, and they didn't. So that on top of Houston looking like they're not going anywhere anytime soon, and then because it's. My number 3, we'll go to number 3, and I'm going to just go ahead and talk about it. Tennessee, I don't know what y'all are doing at quarterback. I know you're trying to let Levis do his thing, but he single-handedly lost that game for y'all. I don't know if y'all know that.
He ain't it for you, baby.
Bro, it didn't look right. I know you got rid of Malik Willis, and I don't know who you brought in to back him up, but Will Levis, he puts mayonnaise in his coffee. It's a good little gimmick and all that stuff, but
I don't
know if he got it,
mayonnaise in this coffee, bro.
I don't know if you got Tony Pollard back there for him to hand the ball off to. You got I think it's a Sprite that you got back there as well. There, but you got bro. It's y'all had that game. I think your defense was playing so well because like I said, my man, you got Keenan Allen out there. He ain't doing nothing. You got CJ or DJ Moore out there. He ain't doing nothing. Your defense was playing lights out, and your offense went out there and you let their defense down with those stupid turnovers. Special teams with that block punt that got returned for a touchdown. So that's 14 points right there, unaccounted for, that your defense didn't give up, but your offense or your special teams gave away. So, my man Will Levis, you got to settle down. You had some starts last year. It wasn't a full season of you starting, I don't think. But for you to go in there with that captain's badge on your jersey and play the way you did, unsat. So hopefully you get it together, get with your defense, apologize for that shit, and move on. Because what I don't want for you to be is the next Zach Wilson that's out there, defense playing lights out,
man,
not being able to generate any points or do anything for your team. So that's my number 3.
That is also my number 3. Shout out to Voot, the only Bears fan I know. I know he was happy about the performance, but anytime you have Tony Pollard start the game off with a touchdown, like, why do you go away from that?
Yeah.
Don't try to make this guy look good and he's mismanaging the game. So get back to what worked. Again, I can't stress this enough. All the teams that won yesterday ran the ball really well. Tennessee, you got rid of Derrick Henry, but you got a faster guy in Tony Pollard. Use him. Give him the ball. He was giving you work yesterday. Don't go away from that. Go back into what you know. Run the ball. Run it effectively, and then use it to pass. Then let Will prove his worth. You know what I mean? Don't have this man out here dropping back.
Especially when you see he lost his confidence.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Bro, it's just run the ball 3 times and let your defense get back on the field.
Yep. That is not what you want to do, man. So hopefully they break out of that, and hopefully they figure it out for next week, because they need something desperately, or you're going to be looking at the bottom of the barrel this year for the first time in a long time too, because Tennessee's always been a playoff caliber team,
middle of the pack type stuff.
Like
1 or 2 games away from winning the division and stuff. But looking at the AFC South, it's looking like it's Houston's to lose, with I would say Indianapolis probably, like if Richardson gets his shit together, because I know he completed 9 passes for like 250 yards, but
That's wild.
he got a cannon.
That's wild.
But like there are some passes he needs to learn to put some touch on it, because my man running a 5-yard slant and you throwing the fucking rocket. It's just like, come on, man.
That receiver, shout out to him, bro. that man had you looking like a star.
What's his name? Pierce, little white
dude
out there, like, yeah.
I'll go get it, daddy. Let's God, dog.
Oh man, but the arm talent, you can't deny it. He just needs to settle down more in the pocket, man. And you know, Houston's defense ain't no slouch, so you know he's moving around in the pocket. He just has to learn that quick. You know, if it ain't there, throw it away, get down, don't take unnecessary hits. Trust me, I'm watching Cam his whole career. He would just stand there and try to extend plays. Ben Roethlisberger too, taking unnecessary hits. You're too young for that. You missed out last season because you had a concussion, and then you had, I think, a broken clavicle or a collarbone or something like that. Like he had some injury where he had the rest of the season, and Gardner Minshew came in. But man, I want to see you do great, Anthony Richardson. Take care of your body out there, man.
Absolutely.
Where we
at?
Who's
your number one? Go ahead.
You want to go first? I feel like mine be
mine ain't that bad. Mine is not as bad as yours.
You know what mine is?
I actually don't know.
Okay.
Actually,
go ahead and go first.
All right, my number one.
Yep.
And I am not a fan of this team. I absolutely love what happens to them. It just gives me joy anytime I see it. The Atlanta Falcons.
Oh.
You spent big money to go get Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cobain. Kirk Cobain.
Big money. You spent that big bucks, no whammies, and you got a whammy, bro.
Woo.
You got a whammy. That man let y'all all the way down. And I love it. I love it. But you guys are disappointing because the Steelers are the Steelers. They play ugly games. You have to figure out how to beat that. The fact that you have a guy in Kirk Cousins that you paid all this money to lure him away from Minnesota because he had a guy like Jefferson at receiver. Like, you guys have weapons. You do. You have Robinson in the backfield. Again, this should be the theme of the show. If you run the ball well, don't get away from it. You have Robinson running the ball well. But I get you paid all this money for a bum quarterback. You got to show him off. So you're going to live and die on that sword. I love it for you. But listen, y'all need to get it together because, man, listen, y'all have a squad. The defense is decent.
Yeah.
You have weapons at receiver. Your offensive line is good. They're good enough to give you a good amount of rushing yards per game. If you can lean on that, then you don't have to worry about how much you paid him because he's a clock manager. That's one thing Kirk Cousins can do really well. He can manage a clock. Now, he'll fuck you up. But he gonna manage that clock. He gonna manage it. You just gotta know when the time bomb is gonna explode and get him out of there. You know what I mean? Like, go back to the run. But if you can run. Lean on Robinson. Let that man get you some yards. If not, I mean, you live and die by what you do. And if you playing Kurt Cobain all day, song gonna be sad, bro.
My shit. I'm just like, my man is coming off an ACL or Achilles, right?
Right. Yeah, it's Achilles.
You got TJ Watt on the other side of that motherfucking ball, ready to tee the. And he was like, my man was cracking him. He had at least 2 fumbles that was called back due to some other wild shit. My man, I'm just like, bro, I don't know how Kirk didn't go to that sideline. Like, can we hand this ball off more? Can we run some screens? Can I
Nah,
get
he
this
was
shit?
not.
Can I get this shit out of my hands? TJ Watt is built different. Can we put a tight end and a running back on this side to chip him so he don't hit me? Because Kyle Pitts can't do it by himself. I need somebody to help. Like, shout out to Kyle Pitts. But I'm looking at Kirk the same way you were. I'm just like, bro, and let me just say this. Atlanta fans, y'all was there mad, confused, dumbfounded about this Michael Penix Jr. pick. I would say the biggest winner of the day without playing Michael Penix Jr.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So he on that bench like, damn, man. It's only a matter of time, dog.
His Achilles, you say. Oh, okay.
Oh, shit. TJ Watt, you go ahead and handle that, Big Kirk. Big Dick Kirk Cousins out there, baby. Go ahead, take them hits, man. How they lost
his ass.
How they lost, I have no idea. My man kicked 6 field goals and beat them. 6 field goals. That y'all lost 16 to what? 17, I believe.
16, 10. Oh, no. 18-10.
Ridiculous, bro. Ridiculous. All that money for 10 points. That's all I'm gonna say. Playing in the dome too. Ain't no outside. Ain't nothing fucking with you, bro. You playing in the dome just like you did in Minnesota, man. Ball out. I guess without your boy JJ, it's a little different.
You can't just toss them up.
It's different when you ain't got the best receiver in the league jumping up there snatching the ball out the air, but we'll see what happens, man. Run the ball more. You got fucking Bijan Robinson back there not doing shit, man. Give that man the ball, bro.
Absolutely, man.
What up, man? Yeah, TJ Watt was bro. My man about to.
The man was licking his chops every time he was on the field.
Ooh, boy, I'm about to end this motherfucking career. Let me back in there, coach. Whoa.
He's gonna kill him.
Right. My man is playing for his brother JJ. All the years that he was injured and couldn't get those sacks, it manifested in him. Now he out there with the power of 2 watts. JJ and TJ. Oh man. But my number one, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's lay it out.
This would come to a surprise to you because the logical side of me is thinking like, what the fuck were you expecting? What the fuck were you expecting, Mac, when you're looking at the Carolina Panthers, bro? 2-15 last year. What are you expecting? You know, we go into the draft. You know, we got no first round pick, but we traded back into the first round to pick up a receiver. And I'm like, I guess, you know. Granted, when you're looking at the stats, our receivers weren't really getting open. I think the average yard of separation was like less than 2 yards when they were running their routes and stuff. So they couldn't, there's no little wide open person. So you need to be accurate as fuck or give your quarterback some time to allow the receivers to finish running routes to a point where they can get open. But how do you do that? How do you give your quarterback fucking time? You get an offensive line. So are we drafting an offensive line? No. David Tepper and I guess Dan Morgan is now the fucking GM. Shout out to Dan Morgan. That's cool. Linebacker, whatever. Decided that we were going to build our offensive line through the free agent market. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. If your team has a elite offensive lineman, do you think you are going to let them go away in free agency?
Absolutely not.
Exactly. Because teams aren't letting that shit go. How do these teams get these elite offensive linemen? You fucking draft them. And who do we draft? We don't have a first round pick. Trade away some later round picks. Jump back in the first round. Get a receiver from South Carolina. Then we got a second round pick. We take a running back from Texas who looks decent. But again, his foot is fucked up. He can't play for the first 4 games. He's on the physically unable to perform list. And then when he does come back, what offensive line is he running behind? Because we have No offensive line. We paid them like they're elite. We gave old buddy fucking $100 million and shit. 6 years, $100 million. I'm just like, who the fuck is this man? I'm looking like, is he worth it? I don't know. We'll see. Come fucking preseason. I'm sorry, guys. I'm spazzing. Come preseason, everybody's like, "Ooh, man, look how much time Bryce has to throw back there. Look at it, like it's fucking preseason." You think teams are calling their exotic blitzes and stunts and shit in preseason? They ain't showing y'all the good shit, man. They're not showing y'all that. So they come with these basic things, and Bryce Young back there looking around like, "Oh wow, look at this. The line is gonna fucking snap one." My man's scared. Throw, pick. That's it, bro. Second, JC Horn, get the fuck off this team, bro. When you were drafted, I wanted Patrick Surtain, and they went and drafted your dumb ass. You give it up in the first play. You could have hustled. You probably could have tackled that man inside the 5. My man caught the ball. You started jogging and leading up, bro. Get your ass the fuck out the game. Y'all showing up to the game. You got thieves written on your fucking shoes. Y'all ain't the thieves, man. The thieves was back in 2015. They was walking out there with the bats and shit. Josh Norman out there with him, bro. Roman Harper was out there with him, bro. Y'all ain't the thieves, man. Take that shit off your fucking shoes. Y'all giving up 47 points week 1. 47 points, bro. That's just fucking ridiculous, man. David Tepper, get the fuck all the way up out of there, man. We have a first-round pick this year. Don't you fuck this shit up. You know you should have got CJ Stroud. I'm going to tell you like this. I came into this shit legit trying to root my man Bryce on, man. I ain't trying to wish ill on nobody, man. I didn't want Bryce because he's short. I'm not big on short quarterbacks, man, especially when your offensive line stand up. They 6'4", you 5'11". How the fuck you looking over that shit? How you seeing receivers, my boy Bryce? You can't be doing that shit, man. It's not logical. So he out there trying to scramble, get out the pocket to see some shit. It's not going to happen. Bryce, it's not it for you, bro. It's not it. I know people are like, well, look at Drew Brees. He was able to do it. Anomaly, right? Once in a lifetime type shit. Russell Wilson did it. He was bootlegged and running out, and he had a fucking amazing running game to help him out to do that play action and see that guy down the field.
Look at him now.
He ain't got that awesome running game. Who else back there? Kyler Murray. Yeah, he started off a little bit nice, but again, you know, he ain't the best. And he out there getting hurt. I think he was out like last, bro. It's a whole lot of things. Short quarterbacks just still ain't doing it for me, man. And you know, the press conference afterwards, you know, Dave Canales, the new coach, used to be the offensive coordinator down there at Tampa Bay, came up here. I'm just like, bro, you shouldn't have did that. You should have stayed your ass down there with Baker and them. Get your money, get your wins, keep winning the division, because I think Tampa Bay about to win it again this year. Even though the Saints did look good, it was against the Panthers. So I always got to throw that shit out there, right? Granted,
yes.
Yeah, so I mean, it's you know, you playing when you play NCAA football, you playing like the FCF, right? And you turn it up because you a 70 overall, but you playing like a high 50s.
Yeah.
Your receivers just running go routes, burning them, right? You just like, damn, I threw for 500 yards that game. You know why you threw for 500, but I don't know. I don't know what to do. It's tough being a Panthers fan, but the amount of money David Tepper has, the amount of money he's willing to spend on coaches, the amount of money that he's just, I don't know, man. Like he just needs to step away and let the football minds handle football. He's very intrusive, wants to get involved, acts like he knows football, does not know football. Hence why Frank Wright's not there, because he's the one that wanted to draft CJ Stroud. The boy was like, no, I want Bryce Young. So here we are. I got a Bryce Young jersey that'll be here in a couple days. You know, ordered it, you know, a week before the season started. So I'm just like, bro, I'm trying to root for my boy, man. I'm trying to be 10 toes down, you know, keep pounding. But the shit is getting tough, man. Shit is getting tough, especially when you get kicked in the mouth off rip.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Maybe we look better. Miles Sanders is not fucking it. Chuba Hubbard's not it for the running backs. You know, I think it's Freeman. I think it's the running back we picked up. I want to see how he handles it, but you know, I gotta wait till week fucking 5 for that shit. So It's a lot of things going on, man. And you're looking at other previous Panthers balling out. You know, you got a Baker Mayfield out there balling out over there. You got DJ Moore out there balling out. Brian Burns up in New York ain't really did much, so yay for that. But Christian McCaffrey always balling out. Like we've had talented people on our team. The coaching staff put together just can't do shit for it, man. So it's just tough. So that's my biggest disappointment. You got professional people that are getting professional money to go out there and play with heart and play till the whistle blows. They got no heart. They get kicked in the face, and then they're just like, well, fuck it, maybe next week. And I hate that shit. So biggest disappointment, I think it shouldn't be. I think it's more of a pet peeve, but I'm writing an article for DFPN. It'll be up there. More constructive. more constructive, more data points and stuff like that. But for right now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm fucking pissed, man. This shit.
What if I told you it could get better?
Well, we got no choice. We was 2-15. What you want?
No, I mean, here's the thing. It's not entirely Bryce's fault.
No,
because
but
here's the thing. He has 2.7 seconds. I clocked him. He has 2.7 seconds to throw the ball. That's 2.7 seconds to make a decision. If his line does not block for him, that time diminishes quickly. He goes from about 2.7 to about 1.3. That is no time to make a decision if a running back or receiver is running a route. The offensive line is no doubt a problem, but he has to work on getting the ball out of his hands a hell of a lot quicker. You have to start organizing short routes for him. That way he can make people pay for getting in the backfield. What Carolina doesn't really work into is the screen game. They need to start there. Try to focus on
line to block, man. Like
this is why you focus on the screen game.
They're not athletic enough to get out there for this.
Right. So you work on your screen game. Get the ball out of his hands quick. That way people are already bum rushing you, right? Get the ball out of your hands quick to a receiver on a wide receiver screen, running back on those types of screens, and then let that work for you. If you don't let that work for you, there's no hope for him right now because they didn't upgrade their line. That is the fact of facts. When everybody else, so what Philadelphia did, smart. What Baltimore did, smart. They went out and got the running backs, but they also upgraded their line too. Philadelphia, especially because they were losing Jason Kelce, they had to upgrade their line. There was a big overhaul for them. You've seen the dividends it paid for them. If you're going to go out and get some of these guys, Carolina, and I get they're a small market, not a lot of people will want to play there, but you have to build that type of line in a draft. The fact that they didn't and they went out and drafted skill positions, that's a problem for them. That lands squarely on the GM. But you're in the issue that you're in. You have to find a way out of it. The way you find your way out of it is get the ball out of his hands quickly and set up something for the running backs where what I saw primarily yesterday, they ran it to a side to where New Orleans' strongest players were. So you don't run to the strong side if you know you don't have a good line. You try to find your spots, pick and choose where the weaknesses are, and focus on that. Admittedly, I can say this now because New Orleans won. Their strong side is their weak side. So run to that side. Keep them in the 4-6 gap, and you got them. But they didn't do that. So it's things like that once you get into the game and once you figure out like what works for you, like what Carolina isn't complimenting Bryce Young on is finding out what works for him. It feels like they're just throwing him to the wolves and letting him learn. This is the same thing they did with Baker Mayfield. Throw him out to the wolves, let him learn. That doesn't work for quarterbacks, bro. You're in the league And I get quarterbacks are being developed earlier in their careers, but now you're in the league. It's kind of like the jump from college basketball to NBA. The game has to come to them. If you're just throwing them out there, the game's not going to come for them like that. So you have to develop them to where they can recognize the game as they grow, and that will work for them. So hopefully they do that for Bryce Young, but I'm kind of agreeing with you on that one. It is kind of disappointing.
And I hear you. Like, the biggest thing is get the ball out of your hands, but when your receivers can't get open, they can't work. Like, they're getting pressed. You need a receiver that can break that press and get open quick for you.
Right.
If they sit there, like, Adam Thielen's not it for you, bro. I don't care what the hell. 3 catches for 49 yards. I mean, that's dope, but god damn it. 3 catches all game. We got Jonathan Mingo, 2 catches, 40. The rookie had 4 catches for 35. It's just like, so they get out quick and you're getting these short receptions, but they're not getting you first downs. 13 for 30 for 161 yards and 2 interceptions. Meanwhile, Derek Carr, running the ball, Miles Sanders, 5 carries, 22 yards. Chuba Hubbard, 6 carries for 14 fucking yards. Boone, 4 carries, 7 yards. Bryce Young, 4 carries, 3 yards. Bro, what are we doing? What are we doing?
You're running to the wrong
run
side.
The ball?
No,
what do you have to do now? Pass. And once you're in that spot where it's like 3rd and 8, bro, that D line is like, ooh. I had to double it.
Everyone, sir. Everyone.
Zero blitz. That's going to leave the running back open for a screen.
Doesn't matter.
You think he's going to see that? Sweep the leg. So that's what I'm looking at, man. Like, it's ridiculous. You run and let me tell you, Alvin Kamara ran the ball 15 times himself. You add up all the times, the total number of times we've had somebody run the ball, 11, 20 times. We had 20 rushes, 3 of them from the quarterback. The Saints rushed the ball 26, 31, 37 times. And only had to throw the ball 23 times. Their car 19 for 23. That's the defensive side. We can talk about that shit, but Carolina, get your shit together, man. I feel like y'all gonna have me on here every week, man. I'm trying to do water now because y'all had me drinking yesterday, but shit. Tepper got to get the fuck up out of there, bro. Shit. They're gonna move this shit out. They're gonna move this team out of Carolina, bro. I think Tepper's gonna sit there and he's gonna sell this team to somebody, and it's gonna leave. They're going to some city, bro. I don't know where the fuck they gonna go. They're gonna move these motherfuckers somewhere, bro.
Sad. That's sad.
They're gonna move this shit back to St. Louis. St. Louis gonna be like, shit, we'll take them. Fuck.
Bring them on over.
God damn it. 30 years. Carolina, I've been a fan since inception, bro. We out here celebrating the 30th season in Carolina. No Super Bowls. Been to 2. Losing them hoes. I'm done.
That's sad.
I'm done. All right. Week 2. Let's talk week 2. Just one thing real quick and we'll wrap it up.
All right.
What is one thing that you're hoping to see in week 2?
I want to see Cincinnati rebound. I want to see what they took from this game 1 loss. If this was a lack of focus for them, and how they recover from that. Also, I'm gonna give you another one. Big game here in Arlington.
Ooh. Yes.
I need the Saints to bring that energy that they brought from Carolina.
This gonna let you know. This will
let me know. This will let me know. If you do what you did to Carolina, not even that. If you do enough to win this game, then we got something.
All right.
Show me something.
My thing, and this is a petty side of me, Pittsburgh Steelers going to play the Denver Broncos week 2. I know Fields got the Justin Fields got the start week 1 because Russell Wilson was hurt. I think he had like a calf injury or something. So funny thing, like I don't know why, bro. If you're scratched off the roster and you're not playing, why are you out there full pads in the gym? Like Russell, you be doing too much shit, Russell.
The most, bro.
Just stop. All right, people leave you the fuck alone. If you just stop being fucking extra, bro, just chill the fuck out. Anyway, if I'm the coach, Russ, you starting this game.
Okay, I'm not mad at that.
Denver, and we doing this because we want you to shut Sean Payton the fuck up. He out there, he talking bad about you, trying to get you to restructure your contract so you wouldn't, so there's no injury clause in your shit. Like I feel like that's fucked up shit. Like, bro, no, honor your fucking contract because when it's time for a player to want to raise, y'all gonna turn around and tell the player to honor their contract. No, you signed this thing. You got 2 more years before we even think about it. But then he signed a contract and you trying to get him to fucking waive his shit to help the team out. Nah, fuck that shit, bro. I was 100% with you, Russ. Like you was still playing like ass. So I understood why the team was telling you to take less. But nah, you held your ground. I appreciate that. So when we get there, I need Mike Tomlin to be like, hey, Justin, I appreciate everything you did for us in that week 1 win. But this is Russ's time. He's gonna go out there and we're gonna show them what they had and what they let go. So I'm gonna put my faith in Russ. Russ, you better get out there and ball the fuck out. Let Russ cook. And here's the thing, man. Like Russ, I'm gonna give you this leash, bro. I'm gonna let you go out there, and if you start fucking this shit away for us,
I'm benching you.
Coming right back in, bro.
Yep, I'm benching.
So that's where I'm at. Hey, get out there, fuck them up. Based off what we saw them do, Bo Nix ain't it for them either. So,
fact.
So we can get out there and he thought he was doing some shit. That defense,
that boy,
safeties, but it is what it is. But I would have Russ out there, and I'm willing. I want to see Russ do work against the Broncos, man. I need him to have that redemption story.
I agreed.
But yeah, that's all I got for week 2, man. You got anything else?
Nah, man, just good to be back talking some sports. Thank you, NFL football gods, for coming back into our lives during this season and giving us something great to talk about.
Indeed. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and wrap it up. You heard our takes and everything. Let us know what you think in the comments. Top 5 pleasantly surprised and top 5 disappointments, and we'll be bringing these back next week, wrapping up week 2 and also talking Monday Night Football as well. So with that being said, appreciate you guys hanging out. I'm the homie Mac, aka YaBoy.
And I'm bred like a king, made as Kelvin Kaylee. Thank you for coming to episode 9 to prove me wrong. Get your picks in. See y'all next week.
Peace.
I know those